Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be Hairy Muppet. Now we are going to be casting game number 3 of the HomeStory Cup number 7 Grand Final. So there we go. So far it's been absolutely awesome games. But first off, up the top right side of the map we do have our blue Terran player, TaeJa. And down the bottom right side of the map we do have our red Zerg player, Snute. And I think I mentioned their clans back in the quarterfinals, but I'll mention them again. They're both from Team Liquid, man. So Team Liquid is going to be over the moon with the results of this tournament so far. Whichever player wins, they win. But these players, they're not playing nice with each other anymore. They are playing very nasty. And yes, the first two games, TaeJa doing some great job. In the first game with marine tanks, with marauders, with hellbats all over the place. Did a really good job. But in the second game, Snute just went completely nuts on the economy and did a great job at harassing TaeJa's own economy. The amount of time that he hit TaeJa's third base is just completely insane. And yes, in the end, he just completely beat him, and TaeJa did an awesome job saving his forces time and time again with that medevacs. He had medevacs all over the place. Snute was running around with Roach, Baneling, Ling forces, but he had nothing to hit the medevacs. Eventually he got out some corruptors and started to get out ultras, and that was just the beginning of the end for TaeJa, because once the corruptors started hitting his medevacs, he just had no chance anymore. And what have we got going on here? Command center before barracks, and I guess he can get away with it on this map because the chances of TaeJa, of Snute, sorry, scouting him is going to be not as good. You can see it's the second overlord that's come out heading towards TaeJa, so it's going to be a little while before he gets there. And yeah, so he's going to be able to produce SCVs out of this and send them up to this base for quite a while before moving over. And Snute, of course, has done his typical 14 hatch into pool build, which he's very fond of, and has definitely been working for him. He's never really got taken out by that, like even an early Reaper coming out cannot do a massive amount of damage before a couple of Lings come out. So yeah, you should be fine. The SCV coming out, so there's no Reapers, just an SCV. And this guy, has he seen the base? No, he has not seen the base. But I think he may have seen the SCV, perhaps? I do not know, I really don't. But we're going to see, this overlord is eventually going to see something. And here we go, the SCV coming out for a bit of a look around. The Queen is going to take care of him ASAP. But he's got to get a full scout off before the Queen does take him out. If indeed the Queen does take him out, he's going to try and do a bit of a loop-de-loop around it. Yeah, just not able to get away. And there we go. The Queen knows this is the area, and she is going to get away from there really fast. May still die? No, I think she should be fine. Yeah, should be fine. The Marines, yeah, not even going to bother running around the long way to try and cut her off. She's just going to run away from there, and she should be fine. And yeah, so pretty standard stuff so far. What do we got going down? Same old. This is not the same old though. This is a very early check command center from the Terran player. And if the Zerg does not hit him nice and hard after he gets this down, then TaeJa could be in a very good position. You can see the Zerg's already getting his third base, which is a pretty good timing for the Zerg, but not super early by any stretch of the imagination. This is super early if he needs to move this over, but he doesn't really have the forces to defend it at the moment, and he won't have the forces in a couple of minutes. He's still going through the harassment phase of his build, pretty much. Getting the medevac, and then although what's this? Banshees. So he's not going for Hellbat drops. He's going for a Hellion Banshee sort of composition. And this is a very interesting build. I think I saw this from somebody else. I don't think it was TaeJa. Yeah, somebody else doing this, and it was quite potent back in Wings of Liberty, the old Hellion Banshee sort of harassment. But I do not know if TaeJa can make it work, man, because is a bit hard to pull off against Zerg, especially with so many queens all around the place. I think it's pretty much the queens the bench distracts the queen, and the Hellions run past and start roasting drones. Or the, so the Banshee goes in the backside, starts hitting drones, the queens run back to defend, the Hellion shoots through and does all sorts of damage. So we'll see exactly how this goes, but this Overlord hopefully will be able to spot the Banshee. So we have a look over here. No, I don't think he is going to spot the Banshee. He's moving in, he knows that he should be checking stuff out, but he did not spot that Banshee, he just barely got on the left of him. And a couple of Marines are going to make sure that this Overlord does not spot anything else anymore. And here we go. Bunch of roaches coming out though, so this beautiful tactic, just a little bit too late, but the Banshee is going to be that much more effective, sniping out roaches left, right and center. And yeah, we're going to see how this goes. Now with queens, he should be able to just push this away. You'll need to get a couple of spores up as well, but that shouldn't be too bad. Although at this point, when he's just moving out into a third base, he is going to lose quite a few drones. You can see there's 2 drone kills so far, but he's got 3 queens over at his natural here, and the Banshee will have to circle around and maybe go for the main base, although there's already a spore here, and I assume there's going to be a spore coming up there. So great job there by Snute, getting his defenses up nice and early. But yeah, speaking of nice and early, man, TaeJa, his third base, already up there, already doing some good stuff. And yeah, he's even got a Viking out as well from that starport. It's just going to be sniping some Overlords all over the place. So yes, really, really good stuff from both players so far. This Banshee is just going to be used as a scout for now. He'd really, really like to scout out this 4th base, but he hasn't scouted it so far. So yes, not going to be good. And this Overlord, man, still trying to get a scout off, but he's not going to do very well so far. 1 roach coming in for a scout, but getting chased by a Banshee. And so not going to be seeing too much on the way here. And what do we got going on? So armory coming down, so we can only expect this is for either Hellbats or for tank upgrades. I'm going to guess tank upgrades at this point. He's really been rocking the Marine tank build so far, and it looks like he's going to go for that again. And I mean, why not? It works so well. It didn't work too well the last game, but I think that was mainly an economy that screwed in there and not his army composition, because his army composition was still good, it's just that the Zerg got a ton of stuff. And Banshee, making a little bit of a mistake there, should be going for workers and not for the actual hatchery. There we go, he's going to start hitting the workers, he's going to snipe off a couple of them, so this Banshee proving very, very useful in this game so far. Just getting into that nice timing when the hatchery is up but the spawn crawler isn't quite up yet, so very, very good job there. But yeah, it's all going to come down to when these armies meet up. If you have a look at the economy, TaeJa definitely not behind on the economy anymore. He's about 17 workers behind, but 70 is more than enough for a Terran player to get out the forces he needs to, and that is what he's going to be doing. He's actually sending a small force. There's the same Hellions still alive, and unfortunately for them there is a spine crawl up there, so between that and the Queen they're not going to be doing a whole lot. Although 1 worker goes down there, he might be able to take out the other Queen, but probably not. 2 Hellions going down. Meanwhile, a drop coming down here. Really, really great job, taking out quite a few workers there. Getting that spore crawler, getting surrounded by Lings, but I think they've got enough to take out the Lings, and yeah, the Zerg is going to have to scramble some forces to take these guys out, because they are going to just wipe out this lair, then jump back in the medevac. I think a Queen must have transfused this, but now there it goes down. Jumping in the medevac, getting the hell out of there. Great, great attack there from our Terran player TaeJa, man. And he's got to be careful though, he does not want this guy to get sniped out by the bloody spore crawler with very little health. And the Zerg has got a counter attack here, but with some tanks already out on the field, he should be alright. He doesn't really have any tanks in range of this, but it all comes down to, he does have quite a lot of Bailey, so he should be able to bust in wherever he wants. There we go, the tank's doing a great job here, and I think the Terran player should hold this off. I think he should anyway. He's got to take some hits, but yeah, he should be fine. He's scaring away quite a lot of the Zerg forces. They do not like running into a line of siege tanks. It is not making their day very good. So he's going to run around. He's going to go for this side instead. And hopefully the Terran player is going to move some forces. There he goes, move some forces up there to defend this line. He's not going to have a siege tank over there though, but these are going to be just as good. And running in there, doing all sorts of good stuff. I think he should be alright. He's trying to lead it back to this siege tank over there. Large amount of roaches trying to do something, but without the Bailey support, they are not very good versus Marines and Marauders. And yeah, just forcing them back, forcing them away. And really great job from the Terran players so far in this game. He's actually getting 3 weapons for his infantry, 1 weapon for his vehicles. And what are the upgrades looking like for the Zerg? He's already got 2 too, so he's a little bit behind on the upgrades. He's getting a 5th base now, but the Terran player moving out, going to get a 4th base down here, and that's a little bit risky, getting a bit close to the Zerg, but you know, why not? It's Zerg doesn't have too much crit spread over here, although he's starting to get some, so yeah, we're going to see how that all goes. And he's got to be thinking about taking, look at this though. These links coming in, the perfect time, some SCVs getting ready to start mining, and that is not a good time to be an SCV. One Bailey taking out quite a lot of them, but the tank numbers for TaeJa are starting to get scary, and the upgrades for the tanks are starting to get scary as well, so yeah, definitely. Here we go, beautiful drop down here, going to take out this hatchery, and he cancelled it at the last second. Meanwhile, going to be pushing in for this one, and TaeJa's a bit out of position. He's going to be pushing in, going to save these forces, but might lose quite a few SCVs. Meanwhile, the Zerg moving in here. He was building a planetary, but he's going to have to cancel and lift that off if he wants to save it. Yeah, because otherwise this thing's just going to burn up. There we go, cancels, lifts it up, but it is on fire, so he needs to save that ASAP. And yeah, a bit of back and forth, another drop coming down here, going to take out a few drones, but not a whole lot. He's already moving some forces to whack out these forces. They die as soon as they drop down. Not good at all for that medevac drop. And yeah, really great job. I'm going to say TaeJa was looking very good before, but I think Snute is definitely not behind in this game. He's got a crap load of Baileys, he's got a crap load of economy. He's still beating the Terran economy by quite a bit. The Terran's not, he hasn't got a low economy by any stretch. And it is going to come down to, yeah, just tank positioning and tank pushes and how the tanks do and all that sort of stuff. Because tanks can turn the tide of a battle if they're in a good position. And he's got the upgrades. He's actually getting level 3 vehicle weapons. It's very rare that we see level 3 vehicle weapons go up this high. Look at this beautiful tank positioning. Just able to hit all of these guys over there. So great job. Whenever the Zerg tries to push in, the tanks are there waiting for him. He's trying to push in multiple places at multiple times. But TaeJa's starting to get enough tanks where he can put them at multiple places at the same time. And here we go, pushing in, wiping out the creep. This is going to be the push that TaeJa needs to do. And if he gets his tanks in good positions when he pushes in with the Zerg counter-attacks, then yeah, he should be able to do good stuff. Because all of these Baileys, man, die so quickly to tank attacks, but at the same time they just wipe out Marines all over the place. There we go, going in for the push. He's going to pull back. The tanks here are going to be doing a ton of damage. Trying to maybe split those guys up a little bit. Yeah, they're really pushing in there. They're pushing it from the bottom as well as from the side. Really great job there from the Zerg player. And he took out a lot of forces there for the Terran, but the Terran's constantly got reinforcements. He's got a ton of medevacs as well, so he should be fine for the moment. And this planetary fortress can take care of itself. Another force over there just waiting to go in, but TaeJa very wisely has gotten all of his defenses back up at that base. Meanwhile, some drones running away, and yeah, there's no real tank support here anymore. Tanks got taken out, so the Terran player is in a little bit of trouble, and he may have to lift off and just get out of there, because I do not think that these forces are going to survive very much longer against these very scary roaches. They don't have a lot of attacks, but they do have a lot of armor. And there we go, solidifying into a single Terran group and some tank reinforcements coming out, so we will start to push in there. Bunch of links going around, run straight into the siege tanks, and this is not good for those siege tanks. If he doesn't pay attention, he will lose both of them. You can see some Marines just running straight past. He is not realising. There we go, he's going to start attacking them now. Should be able to see take that tank, maybe not. That is a bit of a blunder there from TaeJa, but he does have his hands full over there. And finally getting those links taken out, so good job there. And yeah, doing the push in. He's got a drop down here as well, but this drop is not going to work very well. Marauders versus Leagues never works out. But he's going to be pushing in here. Some roaches coming from the other base. Going to try and push back, but the tank's in a good position to take him out. This tank, he almost got screwed there. But luckily there's some Marines around there, some fungals going down, some infestors. I didn't even know there were infestors on the map. But yeah, doing a great job. But however, the push is just too hard. And yeah, Snoot just totally on the back foot there. I think when it comes down to a straight up economy, where they're approximately equal, I mean TaeJa with his triple M tank build really does an absolutely awesome job. He really knows how to get it done. He really gets the upgrades up absolutely insane. I mean, these were 3-3. The tanks were 2 weapons, but 3 weapons were just about to hit. And at the 20-minute mark, that's pretty insane in terms of upgrades. So really good job there to him for getting all that stuff done. And yeah, triple M plus tank, very awesome against our Zerg player, as we've seen in 2 games so far. And Snute trying a few options. He was getting infestors out, and they may have done some damage eventually. But really, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he has to switch over to Mutiling to get the mutas in to start sniping the tanks. I don't know if that's going to work, but definitely the tactic he tried this game. Just the pure Baileys with roach support did not work. Roaches are good, but tanks still rip them apart if you've got enough of them. So yeah, TaeJa definitely getting in there and showing that he knows how to win these games. And congratulations to him. He is now 2-1 in this best of 7 series, and Snute is once again behind in this series, so he's going to have to pull something out again for game number 4. And I mean, it never ends for our poor Zerg player, does it? But let's move on, and let's move on to game number 4. This has been Hairy Muppet. I hope you've enjoyed this game.